November 18th's iteration of Raw continued the trend of maximum promos and minimal matches. Titles were defended, warnings were given, and teams were formed. Today on Joshua's Breakdown, I'll be discussing the Women's WarGame match and the promo to wrestling ratio of Raw and SmackDown. If you're interested in seeing more content, be sure to follow the Two Small Marks Instagram and Threads account where we cover all wrestling shows live. Monday Night Raw started this week with Liv Morgan coming to the ring to mention that she brought backup in the form of Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Bianca, Jade, Naomi, and Io weren't phased though, as they brought backup two in the form of Rhea Ripley. Chaos then ensued as Bianca and Rhea's team came out with the edge over Liv and Nia's team. I do feel this WarGames match was somewhat rushed, simply because there wasn't a proper build up to it. How this whole thing started was Bianca and Jade coming out and confronting Liv after Crown Jewel for some unknown reason, which then brought in Nia, Tiffany, and Io. The biggest problem with this team though is the inclusion of Io and not Bayley. Bayley makes way more sense for this match, as she's not only friends with Naomi, but she also has history with Nia, Tiffany, and Candice. And yes, I know Bianca and Jade don't trust her, but that could be included in the story of them having to put their differences and trust issues aside to beat a common enemy. You know, like the Avengers, because that's pretty much Bianca and Rhea's team, whether you add Bayley in Io's spot or you keep Io there. So my storyline prediction for the women's match at WarGames is Bianca and Rhea's team getting the win over Liv and Nia's team. Bianca and Rhea's team is pretty much a superstar cast of women wrestlers. I mean, if there was a professional wrestling Olympics, you would probably send this team. So it would make sense that Bianca and Rhea's team would win at WarGames simply because of how great the team is. Hopefully the match will be as good as it is filled with talent. Raw and SmackDown has a promo problem. For months now, Raw and SmackDown have seen a decrease in just how much wrestling is being displayed. Many fans have blamed it on Raw now being 2 hours and say that when Raw and SmackDown move to 3 hours in January, more wrestling will happen and the matches will be longer. But in reality, that shouldn't have to happen to be the case. In reality, Raw and SmackDown has twice as many promos and segments than it does matches. On this week's Raw, there were 9 different backstage and video promos while having 4 matches. And what's worse is the show would have 2 promos back to back followed by a commercial break, which could be at least 15 minutes without any wrestling. For an example, after the match between Braun and Sheamus, Raw had the backstage segment between Jay, Jimmy, Sammy, and Seth, then went to commercial, then came back from commercial and had a video promo with Dakota Kai, and then got to the next match. Raw also had the Wyatt 6 videotape after that, then went to commercial, then came back from commercial and had a Lyra Valkyria video promo, then a backstage segment with the New Day and Alpha Academy, and then got to the next match. With Raw and SmackDown having twice the amount of promos than it does wrestling, this could become the standard of the 3-hour shows. Not only do the main event talent barely wrestle on weekly shows, but now it seems mid-card tag teams barely wrestle and defend their titles as well. So it will be interesting to see just how much wrestling and promos they add in the 3-hour format. Be sure to check out new audio episodes of the Two Small Marks Wrestling Show every Saturday, and be sure to like and subscribe for more videos.